What's cracking, guys? Bruce Madsen here, your host show of Metro Scout Fantasy Football. And I just want to let you guys know that speculative assets are a huge part of Dynasty Fantasy Football. These are players, assets for our Dynasty teams that could go one way or the other. They could boom, they could bust, and there's different variations between that. There's different price points. We see them in rookie drafts, startup drafts, and trades. They're a big part of Dynasty Fantasy Football. Being on the right side of these players will impact our teams tremendously. Being on the wrong side, same way, but from a negative standpoint. And we have some of these in this year's class of rookies. Our rookie drafts have some speculative assets in there where we take our shot on this player and we know that it could go boom for us. It could go down on us really quick. It could be all types of good. It could be all types of bad. That's just how it goes with these types of players. They can be streaky. They can end up being consistent. They can end up being stable over time. There's just a lot of range of outcomes with these types of players. A speculative asset who is kind of expensive in this year's draft that I'm going to be talking about today that you guys might be investing in right now is Christian Watson from the Green Bay Packers. They drafted him in the second round, and he's currently holding an ADP of 8.9, so pretty much between the 8th and 9th pick of rookie drafts, being drafted as the wide receiver 7th off the board. Some interesting stats concerning him: 2.95 yards per route run on his career, not too bad. 8.5 yards after the catch per reception on his career. Lined up in the slot 14.5% of his snaps. He had 4 100-yard games on his career. 4.36 40-yard dash at 6'4", 208 pounds, a 98th percentile size adjusted speed score, a 95th percentile burst score from the FCS level from North Dakota State. Had some big moments. His stock really increased this offseason, during the draft season, during the Senior Bowl, where he got to show off some of the goods, and then he blew up the combine. There are some good things in his game. He's quick, he's fast, he can get you yak, he's explosive, he's a decent route runner, but I can also say, like, in his route running, there is some things he needs to smooth out. He needs to drop some of the steps off of his brakes, smooth that out a bit. Needs to be more cerebral when it comes to selling his routes. He just needs to get a little bit better at that. But when it comes to his short area quickness, his speed, he makes for a very intriguing asset. His landing spot is impactful for us as Dynasty Fantasy Football managers because he went to one of the grandioso situations here, and we were kind of looking at that going into the draft at these mock drafts that there's a good chance he could be with the Packers, be with Aaron Rodgers. It happened in the second round. A lot of people were forecasting it for the first round. Here he is with the Packers, though, and now he has the time to mature in this offense. There's a chance that he could step up and be productive right away because this is a very ambiguous depth chart. On top of that, though, there is some things that are in his profile. When you look at the tape, he's not 100% pro ready. He's not 100% efficient on the route running. He may need to develop some of that to build that rapport with Aaron Rodgers that everyone's hoping that would happen. If that doesn't happen, what if it doesn't? Then that could be a massive fail. That could be fatal. However, if he takes that step forward, we have a player who is linked to a top-tier quarterback, future Hall of Famer, that could elevate his production. And how high? It could be the sky's the limit. Devontae Adams is gone. He's not coming back. We have all these rando wide receivers here jockeying for a position in the offense. Christian Watson has his opportunity here to be the guy. Can it be this year? Can it be next year? Is fantasy gamers going to be patient for that? If not, is there going to be a buying opportunity? Can you buy him for a second next year? Can you buy him for a third? Who knows? But there is a lot of ambiguity in Christian Watson's portfolio, in his situation, and there's a lot of ambiguity with his team. And the upside could be worth it to you. The downside may not be worth it to you. But right now, he's going in the mid to late portion of the first round of rookie drafts. There's other players on the board that you might want to select over him. You may want to select Sky Moore, George Pickens. I would be looking to try and get a 2023 first with this pick. I'd be looking to see if I could get that. Not always. It's not always going to happen. But for some people, you may be able to get that. And those 2023 first-round picks are going to increase in value. They're going to end up being gold. And come November this year, you're going to wish you had a few more. Next year's rookie class right now looks very stellar. We have more running backs. We have about the same amount of receivers, more quarterbacks to look at, more at the top end of the spectrum. So a very good class coming our way next year unless injuries happen. We have seen classes flip on their heads before. That's in the prospectus. But right now, that 2023 draft class is looking good. You may want to look at some of them veterans too. At the 109, 108, 107, 110, when you're looking at Christian Watson, you can get your productive wide receiver with that first-round pick. I talked about Allen Robinson in a couple other videos where I saw him going for second-round rookie picks in some leagues off the DLF Trade Finder. That is a value that some people may want to jump on if they're not in love with Christian Watson, if they're not in love with some of the other receivers or the players in their area of that late first round, early second round range. And there's others now. Once you get farther up in that first round, there's more wide receivers, more running backs that are veterans that you can shoot your shot on. So not just him, there's other players, but you want to think outside the box. You don't want to narrow your shot just on Christian Watson if that's the best player available to you. You may want to trade back. You may want to trade out. Whatever it is, but I think we should be very objective with the probabilities here with Christian Watson. I'm not trying to buy him in a lot of leagues. I'm honestly not trying to do that, but I do notice the upside's pretty grand considering he's paired with Aaron Rodgers, considering his athleticism through the roof, considering he was pretty productive at the FCS level. Not as productive as I would want him to be, but he was pretty productive. He's worth the gamble if you notice, if you're aware of the downturn, which could be dust. The downturn could be dust. The upside could be a top 10 wide receiver. You got both ends of the spectrum here. And if I didn't talk to you about both of them and mention that, that would be shame on me because my job here is just to give you as many sides of this player as possible and allow you to make your determination. And from there, you make your pick. You figure out what to do. My suggestion is before you make the pick, see if you can trade out. I would advise 2023 first-round rookie picks, especially when you're at the 108, 109, 110. See if that's a possibility. Then see what veterans you can possibly get with that pick. Maybe trade back if you're in more love with some of the second-round wide receivers like a David Bell, whoever that is. I really love David Bell, so that may be an option for me. From there, weigh the outcomes. The outcomes are this guy could blow up with Aaron Rodgers, and that may be year 2, year 3, year 4 down the line because usually younger wide receivers take some time to develop with him. The other outcome is that he could be dust. He could be that guy taking up space on our team. And I'm not here to tell you which one. That you just have to know that those are pretty much it. In the middle may not be there for this guy because his profile is pretty boom-bust looking. Wasn't overly productive in college. High-end athleticism. Had that high-end athleticism and was not overly productive. A lot of people are going to point out that NDSU wasn't a high-volume passing offense, more run-heavy. But when you're an elite prospect, an elite player, you should be good enough to where you can overturn that. And if not, it should be in your market share ratings where you're in the 40th, 50th percentile. There are some things where you can hit on this. That athleticism, he's not too bad of a route runner. He can break off routes. He can do things after the catch. He's got that speed. He's paired with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have much to be paired with to begin with. There's some other wide receivers in the offense that could go off on us. So Christian Watson is this coin flip that we have right now in rookie drafts that could go either way on us. But let me know what you think about Christian Watson. You draft him up, you fading, you trading out. What are you doing with this guy? Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button on the way out to help the video out on the algorithm. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you're following along with this channel because I'm giving you rookie draft content just about every day, helping you out with your Dynasty fantasy football teams, and things are going to get hot and heavy once we get in season, helping you out with them lineup decisions and everything else. Again, I want to thank you, and I'll catch you next time.